Spirit of San Jacinto, we want to show you what we've been doing over at the school. We developed this presentation completely in-house, and we wanted to do it as a way that some of the high schoolers could present a play that could be performed to elementary school students, and it could supplement the local history, California expectations that we perform, and it would be a way to kind of personally introduce them to some of the characters that lived here. So you're going to get to meet tonight some characters like Sam Temple, who was probably the Valley's most notorious villain. You'll get to meet Helen Hunt Jackson, who was an author who was out visiting this way when she happened to realize the treatment of the Native Americans out here and decided to write a book called Ramona, based upon the things that she saw here. You'll meet William Vosburgh, who basically bought the what's now known as the Vosburgh Hotel, fixed it up. Many of you, I'm sure, have seen it over at the Five Corners out there. You'll get to meet him, and you'll hear about Juan Bautista de Anza, the explorer that came through this way. You'll learn about the Eva tribe and a history of a place that's not far from here called Massacre Canyon. And you'll meet a fellow named Minor Mac. In fact, I have got the Minor Mac trading card right here. You're lucky if you got this one. Minor Mac is actually a fictional character, but he represents one of the miners in this area. Did you know there are over 500 gold mines that were active in this area at one point in time? Everybody out here to look for different minerals and gold and such like that in the mines. And you also get to hear a variety of folk songs. So the elementary students get to hear all of this, and what we're hoping to do is be able to keep growing this program and maybe be able to tour it, but we're hoping the Spirit of San Jacinto is going to have a very long life. On the back of your cards right here is a QR code, and you can scan that, and it'll take you to a place that tells you all sorts of things about the San Jacinto Valley that maybe you didn't know. All sorts of great and interesting facts about the different characters. But enough talk. We invite you right now to sit back, relax, and enjoy our first of two presentations tonight, The Spirit of San Jacinto. And now that you're all here, we'd like to welcome you to the Vosburgh Hotel. Always time before dinner, we get together and have a good sing-along. Now, where's some of my friends to sing along with me? Well, maybe you all sing along too, if you know it. I'm working on the railroad, all the live on the day. I'm working on the railroad, just to pass the time away. Don't you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morning. Don't you hear the captain shouting? Time to blow your horn. Daddy, won't you blow? Daddy, won't you blow? Daddy, won't you blow your horn? Daddy, won't you blow? Daddy, won't you blow? Daddy, won't you blow your horn? Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Strumming on the old banjo. 3, 4, 8, 5, Juliano. 3, 5, Juliano. 3, 5, Juliano.
Welcome to the Vosburgh Hotel. Welcome one and all. I heard some beautiful singing and I figured we had guests. My name is Miss Annie Vosburgh. My husband, Mr. William Vosburgh, and I will be your hosts here at the Vosburgh Hotel. Whether you're looking for a room for the night or several, you've come to the right spot. We have 52 rooms and all of them are different. You'll love it here. Now, while you're waiting for dinner to be ready, why don't you join some of the other guests?
Who in tarnation are all of these folk?
Why, these are our new guests. Now, it's not polite to stare.
I don't trust them. I ain't trust anybody that doesn't smell kind of funny or got dirt underneath their fingernails.
Why don't you let them get comfortable and maybe they'll tell you who they are, Mr. Temple. This is Mr. Sam Temple. He's a little fussy right now. but he normally joins us here for dinner.
Well, speaking of dinner, where is it? Some of us around here is hungry.
Simmer down, Mr. Temple.
Guess you people look all right. I tell you what, though, you watch out for that lady in the corner, because she's crazy. Always writing stuff down in that little book of hers.
Mr. Temple, my name is Helen Hunt Jackson, and I am always writing because I'm an author.
Yeah, you know what they say, you want a good story, you go to hell and hunt for it.
Mr. Temple, I can smell the alcohol on your breath from all the way over here. Isn't it a little early in the evening to be indulging in such a fine drink?
Early in the evening, darling, I starts drinking early in the morning, all right? So, what you folks anyway? You, like politicians or bankers or
You
what?
certainly are a nosy little fellow, Mr. Temple.
Oh, look who's talking, little Miss Busybody, writing stuff down in her little book that nobody's gonna read.
Mr. Temple, I am writing about the cruel treatment of the Indians in this valley that they have endured, and I hope a great many people read it.
Well, I ain't gonna read it.
That's because you don't know how to read.
Well, howdy, y'all. Good evening. My name is William Vosberg, and this here is my hotel, the Vosberg Hotel. Now, y'all need anything, feel free to ask me.
Let me tell you something about this feller. He moves down to Santa Santa from up in the Canada area, comes down here, finds the prettiest girl around, marries her, buys a hotel, fixes it up, and names it after himself. That's what William Vosberg
Now,
does.
that is true, and Mr. Temple here joins us for dinner whenever he can.
Hey, well, I figure you must be real pleased to have my company.
I sure am. And Miss Jackson, how's the research coming along?
Well, it's tedious, long, and sometimes quite boring.
No. He was talking about the research, not your actual book.
Well, I spent the day researching the land grant given to the Estudillo family. 35,000 acres granted to Jose Antonio Estudillo in the year 1842. And what of all the Indians that used to call this place their home?
Oh, they're still around. I see them sometimes. And I tell you what, I don't trust them either. In the meantime, them Estudillos are sitting pretty up in their Estudillo mansion.
And you, Mr. Temple, are sitting quite pretty in my living room.
I don't think pretty is a word I would use to describe Mr. Temple. Mr. Vosberg, I really was just reading this account of this place called Massacre Canyon.
Yeah, that's north of here, up in them hills.
Yeah, Massacre Canyon. It's a lovely place to take a stroll in the afternoon. Maybe relive some of the old memories that took place there.
You are scum! Oh, if I could just speak to one of the tribe members that were there, the heartbreaking story they would tell, I'm sure.
I'm a member of the Eva tribe of the San Jacintos, and I will tell you the story of my people. Our land was blessed, and during our final season together, we were very content, or more than content. We were happy. Together we worked to grow our crop of chia, which we had grown in abundance. We sang while we worked, in the evenings again together around the fire. We told our children the stories of our ancestors, lest they be forgotten. In our dreams, we could envision our children growing up, growing old on our land, and continuing to lead our people after the sun had set in the final days of my tribal brothers and sisters. We were very blessed that season. Picture the most perfect day of your entire life, and then imagine an entire season full of that same happiness. That was the season of my people. We were blessed greatly. But other tribes in other valleys did not receive the same fortune. Not this season. Rain did not fall from the skies of the Temecula's, and a terrible drought caused their crops to wither and die in the fields. The Temecula's had no crops that season, so they came for ours. The Eva tribe was peaceful. We did not want to fight. But this tribe was as hungry for war as they were for food. I remember hearing the first cry of battle as blood was shed. Our warriors came running bravely into a storm of arrows and tomahawks.
fires being lit to our homes, and my tribe of brothers falling down on the ground to the left and to the right of me. Warriors of the Temecula's just kept coming. Too many warriors. When we knew we would be defeated, we tried to save our women and children. We sent them to the hills, to the waterfalls. I tried to follow them, but something struck me in my shoulder. Fatigue overcame me, and blood poured from my shoulder. I summoned my strength and raised my head, only to see the warriors of Temecula's chasing after the women and children in my tribe. They were chasing the children. The Evas ran through the canyon quickly, but the Temeculas refused to let them go. The Evas ran to the end of the path. They were surrounded by large rocks. They could run no further. The last I remember, before I fell into darkness, was the screams and cries of the children and the women in my tribe echoing in the hills. I must have woken up. Could have been days, could have been hours. I pulled a broken arrow from my shoulder, but the pain was nothing compared to what I felt when I looked around at what was left. Our land, our homes, burned, still smoking. The women and children, my tribe, my brothers, my sisters, scattered on the ground, left for the birds and the beasts of the fields. The Temecula stole the blessings given to us, and they murdered my people. But I am still here, and I carry on. I carry their stories. I carry their memories. The land you now walk on once belonged to them. That is the story of Massacre Canyon. Some say when they walk the canyon, they can still hear the screams and cries of the women and children in my tribe. I can hear them too. But if I listen with all my heart and soul, I can hear something they cannot. I can hear the laughter and the songs we once sang together. Sometimes I can even remember the happiness we all felt during our last season together. I carry on because of them. I carry on to honor them. I'm a member of the Eva tribe, the last member.
Hearing that story makes me feel such emptiness inside. I'm reminded of the cruelty that can exist in the heart of man, the state of maliciousness in which... Mr. Temple! Are you sleeping?
I must have nodded off. Yes, I needed my beauty sleep. You know, Miss Jackson, I think you could use some beauty sleep too. You know, it's get a little quiet here. I think we need to get another song going. Where all them singing and dancing folks? Get them out here, William. Came to town the other night. I heard a noise, I saw the light. Watched them walk, running around. Old man Tucker's coming to town. Get out the way, old man Tucker. The earth delays to get to supper. Supper's over and dinner's begin. Old man Tucker's dancing again. Old man Tucker's a mighty good very much. Well, Miss Jackson, I think it would behoove you to take a few vocal lessons.
Oh my, who is that over there?
Tarnation, if it ain't my old friend Minor Mac. I do love it when Minor Mac gets a chance to come in and visit us.
He stopped digging and I started and I didn't stop. I haven't eaten and I haven't slept. I just kept clawing away until finally I found it, shining there in the walls of mine. My friends, I'm rich.
Well, let me see that. Minor Mac, this ain't gold. This is just quartz that's been painted yellow.
Minor Mac, how could you?
Hundreds of mines out there and I'm stuck with the one that ain't full of nothing but dirt. I haven't eaten in days because I ain't got no money, and I haven't slept because I ain't got no food. And worst of all, well, last week I snuck into the woods to take a tinkle, and someone stole my tools.
Minor Mac!
I'm sorry, Miss Fosberg. Snuck off into the woods to tinkle?
What'd I tell you? This lady writes everything down. A man ain't got no privacy anymore.
Now, don't be sad, Minor Mac. How about this? You can stay at the Vosburg Hotel as long as you like. Just pay us back when you strike gold.
Oh, thank you.
Say, Minor Mac, I think, has got a better chance of striking gold than Helen Hunt Jackson has of writing a best-selling novel. That's what I think.
You want to tell me, Mr. Temple, who's a better storyteller than me?
Oh, I could easily tell you who's a better storyteller than you. Well, take Minor Mac, for example.
Well, thank you.
Now, this is true. Minor Mac is the best storyteller I ever seen. I still remember this one story he told me a few weeks back about the great train robbery. Now, his little sister had to beat up some bandits because they was picking on him.
I do enjoy that story.
That is true. Well, you see, before I was Minor Mac, I was Farmer Mac. And before I was Farmer Mac, I was Veterinarian Mac. And before I was Veterinarian Mac, I was School Teacher Mac. Now I need a job. And before I was School Teacher Mac, I was Sailor Mac. But let me tell you, before I was Sailor Mac, I was Storyteller Mac. And I can tell you the best story you've ever heard.
Well, why'd you stop being a farmer, Minor Mac?
All of my crops died.
Well, how come you stopped being a veterinarian, Minor Mac?
All the animals I was taking care of, they died. Well, why'd you stop being a school teacher, Minor Mac? I dismissed the class for recess, and all the children ran away.
Well, why'd you stop being a sailor, Minor Mac?
I jumped in the ocean to take a tinkle, and the boat sailed off without me.
Well, guess that leaves you with being the best storyteller around.
That's
Though,
for sure.
I gotta tell you, I did come up with a good story myself.
Oh.
I heard a couple fellers out in the fields talking about it. The fella named Juan Bautista de Anza. You ever heard of him?
Why, yes. You mean that explorer came around these parts?
That's right. I have a real neat story about him. If you'd like to hear it.
Go ahead.
Join me, my friends, for a stanza of a man called Juan Bautista de Anza. He came from down south Mexico, they say. His adventures were great, and I tell you today about Juan Bautista de Anza.
Juan Bautista de Anza.
A captain in Mexico's military with his eyes on California. He came here to start a new colony. He is still revered today. He is Juan Bautista de Anza.
Juan Bautista de Anza.
In the 1700s, there were land disputes. Open land could be hard to claim. Mexico needed settlers to be a refuge occupying the open terrain. They sent Juan Bautista de Anza.
Juan Bautista de Anza.
He did not prefer to travel by sea. The dangers he feared were too vast. And so he decided to travel by land, though it was not as fast.
The journey began at last.
He did not set sail, but he blazed a trail, settlers and soldiers by his side. As he passed through territory so new, California was explored far and wide by Juan Bautista de Anza.
Juan Bautista de Anza.
His journeys have ended some time ago, but we remember his story well. He traveled far and near, he journeyed right here, and this is the story we tell of Juan Bautista de Anza.
Juan Bautista de Anza.
I do enjoy that story a lot too.
Real good.
That's right.
Interesting fella.
That's right. I wonder if they're ever going to name anything after me the way that they named after Juan Bautista de Anza. You know, all over California, he's getting stuff named after him. Think they'll ever name anything after me, Minor Man?
You know, Mr. Temple, maybe I'll make you a character in my book.
Oh, I didn't know you was writing a romance novel.
Hardly. I'll make you the villain.
The villain? Even better. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, my, Mr. Temple. Look, someone's stealing your horse.
Tarnations? I gotta go take care of this. I'll tell you what, save me a plate of dinner. I'll be back.
Uh-huh.
Well, as it turns out, I did make Sam Temple a character in my book. I changed his name to Jim Farrar. You see, when he caught up with the man who stole his horse, he shot and killed him in front of his wife, Ramona. That's the name of my book, Ramona.
In the valley San Jacinto, many, many moons ago, lived a lovely señorita, and her heart was all aglow, for she knew that every evening, from the mountains high above, she would hear her lover calling, as he told her of his love. Ramona, may our love linger on. Ramona, even after the dawn. And today in San Jacinto, you can feel the afterglow of a love in San Jacinto. Many, many moons ago, in the valley San Jacinto, many, many moons ago, there's a lovely señorita, and her heart was all aglow. Ramona, may our love linger on. Ramona, even after the dawn. And today in San Jacinto, you can feel the afterglow of a love in San Jacinto. Many, many moons ago.
My lovely, beautiful singing. Now, dinner is ready. Who's ready to eat?
I sure am.
I am too, and I'd like to thank y'all for coming to the Vosburg Hotel this evening. We hope you can come back again and meet more of the amazing people from the San Jacinto Valley.
Well, how about before we send them off, we do one last song? I think they may know this one. You ready? This land is your land. This land is mine. land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to New York Island. From the redwood forest to the ocean water. This land was made for you and me. And this land was made for you and me. Well, thank you so much, everyone. So that is our presentation of the Spirit of San Jacinto. We've been performing that for elementary students every week. This coming week, there will be a bunch more elementary students coming through to see it and meet all the old characters of the Valley. And we hope to have future episodes as well that will be coming, so stay tuned for those. Now, right now, we would like to present to you the Florence Nightingale story. Florence Nightingale, of course, is the woman who made nursing an honorable profession in a time where nurses or women were not tolerated in the medical field. And so a brave pioneer she was who really led the way, and without her, who knows what our medical world would look like today. But we invite you now to sit back, relax, and enjoy our final presentation of the Florence Nightingale story.
Staring at me. I'm not much to look at, am I? But yes, I am Florence Nightingale. I was born in 1820 and lived to the ripe old age of 90, which is surprising when I think of all the hardship I endured. Trying to make nursing the honorable profession is today as though the horrible hobby it was back in my day. But I couldn't stand to see human suffering, even though I was raised in a family of wealth and riches. We were richer than rich as my wealthy family had it all. And it pains me to recall how rich we were. Spending wealth on yourself may be fine for some, but not for me. And all around I see sad misery. One is all it takes to bring help and hope to those that I see. One is all it takes is only one, and it could be me. Maybe you'll be the one who runs to help the human race, make the world a better place. What will you do? Everywhere that you go, there's a lot of woe, and if you dare, you can show the world you care. It's up to you. What is all it takes? You can change the world with all you can do. What is all it takes? All it takes is only one, and it could be you. All it takes is only one, and it could be me. And still remember how young I was when I started my quest. Oh my, I was so young then. And here I am now, at the opposite of my life. I could have chosen a completely different path, you know. I could have had wealth, riches, fancy dresses, and not a single care in the world. I could have had what some might have called a good life. But I chose to become a servant in this world instead of a master. I only look back now to reaffirm and rededicate myself to the one thing I chose to invest my life in, the serving of other people. I can't imagine anything be more rewarding.
Have you seen your sister anywhere?
No, Mother.
That sister of yours, you're the one who's usually running off when there's work to be done.
Some letters came for her this afternoon from the hospital in London. I imagine she's off reading them again and again and again.
If I catch her with those letters, I'll tear them to pieces. Honestly, our guests will be arriving any moment.
Oh, Mother, I just love it when we throw dances and parties. Do you think I'll meet a boy tonight?
Probably not, dear.
Well, that's just because all of the boys pay attention to Florence.
I wish she'd pay a little attention back. Maybe then she'd find a nice gentleman to marry and forget all these foolish ideas of becoming a nurse.
Well, if she doesn't, then I will. I've made up my mind tonight that I will be the one who meets a nice gentleman.
Excuse me, Parthe, the guests are arriving.
Florence, there you are.
Parthe, why aren't you talking to the boys?
Oh, they've only just arrived. Give me a minute or two and I'll make my move. If you could do me a favor instead of sight, maybe the boys will pay a little attention to me tonight.
It would be my pleasure. If I have to attend another dance, I'll throw up.
Florence.
I'm sorry, Parthe, but it's true. In the letters I received today from London, I read of the terrible conditions that hospitals are in, and how dreadful it is for recovering patients. I long to be put to use in the place where I'm needed most, not withering away here attending dance after dance.
Florence, those boys are staring at me.
Well, by all means, go talk to them.
One of them could be my future husband, you know.
Good luck.
Excuse me, miss.
Yes?
Who is that beautiful young woman?
That's just my sister Florence. My name is...
Watch as I administer my charms and render her spirit helpless.
Don't waste your energy. One dance with me, and she'll be completely spellbound.
I like to dance.
Save yourself the embarrassment. One look to my blue eyes and she'll forget she ever saw you.
Huh. She could just easily look into my eyes.
Your eyes aren't half as blue as mine.
That's because they're brown.
I like blue eyes.
Enough talking. Time to make my move.
I'll race you. Excuse me, miss. I truly wish that we can dance.
Oh, mercy me. As you can see, I am entranced. You're in luck. We're starstruck and we love you. We're aware from your glare that you're in love too.
I'll bring you joy.
Silly boy.
We'll have children by the score.
I'll make you smile, you'll be beguiled, we'll live happily evermore.
Do not fret, your future's set and we love you. You and me in harmony, our whole life through.
My eyes are blue,
Mine are brown.
is our ugly no match gown?
Going
Get
down.
out of town,
And we love you.
You're a rat, and you're a brat. I bid you adieu.
Would you like some punch?
Absolutely.
I like punch. My queen, me.
Florence, what on earth is the matter with you? Do you realize who those men were?
No, who?
Those were very respectable men, very wealthy and very interested in you. I want you to go back over there and introduce yourself.
I'm just not interested.
Not interested? Florence, this is what happens every time you receive one of those letters from the hospitals in London. It is just a phase.
It's not a phase, Mother. I want to give my life to the service of other people. I want to help. I can make a difference.
Florence, you were born into the life of luxury, and it would be foolish of you to give it all up to go and work in some dirty hospital.
I've seen parties and dances and short-lived romances and decided it's not for me. When all the dancing is over and the guests have made their way home, I look back on the way that I've spent my day, and each night I dream as I say, could it be that there is something more, a certain task that I was meant to do? What purpose am I living for? Would I have done it when my life is through?
Thank you so much for the party, Mrs. Nightingale, but we really must get going.
So soon?
Here she comes! Oh, let's
Wait,
go!
I'm single! Very single! Birthday! Stop, you're embarrassing.
Thanks a lot, Florence. You said you were going to stand aside.
I'm sorry, Parthay. I tried.
Florence, you know I only want the best for you, right? So if you really want to go and study medicine, then I'm behind you. Why don't you go and stay with your aunt in London for a few weeks? I know she'd love to have you whenever you like. And while you're there, you can go and visit the hospitals.
I'll go right to her right now and tell her that I'm coming. Thank you, Mother.
Of course, Florence.
Why does Florence get to go to London?
She won't last a week in that hospital. Once she sees how dirty it is and how hard she'll have to work, she'll be right back home and hopefully ready to marry.
Could it be that far across the sea, I will do all I was meant to do? Will I make all my dreams come true? Will I be finished when my life is through? Will I be finished when my life is
Please, Florence, let me take your bag.
Oh no, don't trouble yourself.
Well, this is it. I hope you find what you're looking for here.
All I'm really looking for, Pastor, is the opportunity to help others.
Florence, I know you come from a wealthy family, and so it's only fair that I tell you now. You won't make a good living here. The pay is very small, and the living quarters aren't grand, and the food is definitely not the best you ever tasted. But you will have the finest opportunity to work with the kindest, most caring nurses you've ever seen.
Pastor, while I'm here, just forget about what kind of family I come from. I already have. There's nothing more I'd like to do than to join your team.
I admire that, Florence. Now, let me introduce you to some of the women you'll be working with.
The pastor's coming, and he's bringing some lady in with him. Quick, head cards! Somebody...
Oh! 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 Oh!
Right this way, Florence. Nurses, this is Miss Florence Nightingale.
Hi, Florence! Good to meet you.
Miss Nightingale will be working alongside you. I trust you will make her feel right at home.
Sure. You know, Florence, we do take our jobs here very seriously.
We work long hours most of the time on empty stomachs. It's a dirty, dirty job. But if you think you're up for it,
Then we would be glad to have you.
Ladies, I would be so grateful to work alongside you. Sadly, I am aware of the reputation standing nurses have in the medical field, lazy and uncaring. But I know we can change all that. I want to thank you for so readily accepting me.
What are these?
Nurses, how do we let this patient slip these playing cards past us?
The hospital rules are very clear. No playing cards. This patient will go without supper tonight.
oh, I'm afraid he brought this on himself.
Well, ladies, I'll leave you to it.
I'm aware of the reputation and standing nurses have in the medical field.
But I know we can change all that. Oh, that was beautiful, Florence.
Come on, girls.
Dirty sheets. From the looks of things, supper won't be the only meal you skipped.
Florence?
Yes?
Florence. That's an interesting name.
My parents named me after a city in Italy.
Really?
I don't mind it though. My sister, on the other hand, considers her name a curse.
What'd they name her? Parthenon?
We call her Parthay for short.
You can't be serious.
I'm afraid I am.
My name's Selena.
It's good to meet you, Selena.
The other nurses and I are going to go out in the city tonight. We're going to go out for a little fun. You're welcome to join us. I mean, we can show you the city.
Who would watch the patients?
Oh, don't worry. I'll be asleep. Don't worry. We do it all the time.
I think I'm going to stay behind tonight. The sheets need to be washed, and I want to try and introduce myself and say goodnight to all the patients. I want to try and learn as many of their names as I possibly can.
Florence, we don't get paid anything extra for putting in longer hours.
Look, I'm not here for the money. If that's all I was after, I could have stayed home. I'm here to give my life to the service of other people.
You meant all those things you said back there to the pastor, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
We all thought you were just trying to make yourself look good. Well, maybe another time.
Good night, Selena. Here I am, following my dreams, far away from the lives of kings and queens. There are people here, others will come near. Let me know them, let me love them, let me hold them dear. Let me feel everything they feel. Let me be in the place where they are. Let me love with the love that's real. Let me reach them near and far.
Why didn't Florence want to go?
She wanted to stay behind and meet all the patients and wash the sheets.
Did you tell her we only wash the sheets every 2 weeks?
That most of the patients would be dead by morning.
No, I didn't want to discourage her. She seemed so sincere about wanting to help.
It's only her first day. She'll be burnt out by the end of the week.
As the days and the weeks go by, for the sick and the wounded I cry. Even if it's only for a short time, let me share their hearts with mine. Let me do what needs to be done. Let me strength I need, I pray. Let me finish the task I begun. And work harder every day.
You know, Florence has been with us for over a month now, and I don't think I've ever seen her stop to rest.
Did you know she asked the pastor for his consent to watch the doctor while they operate?
Oh, she didn't?
But she was refused, of course.
No, the pastor said yes. The doctors weren't too overly thrilled, of course, but could you blame them?
I heard that she's trying to convince the pastor to give every single one of the patients a bell so they can summon us whenever they want.
Oh, now this is getting ridiculous.
I think she's doing a great job. She seems to really care about the patients. I mean, I even saw her feeding the ones who didn't have the strength to feed themselves.
And she insists on being with them when they die. Says they shouldn't leave this earth alone.
How does she do it all?
She gets up before the sun rises, doing all of her chores, and any of mine I didn't do the day before.
She goes to sleep hours after we do. How does she do it?
Where does she get the strength?
Everything they feel, let me be in the place where they are. Let me love with the love that's real. Let me reach them near and far.
Florence, may I have a word with you?
Of course, Pastor.
Florence, in the few short months that you've been with us, you've done a wonderful job. Patients are recovering faster, and, well, patients we thought wouldn't recover are walking around as if nothing were wrong with them. The hospital is so much cleaner, and, well, it's all thanks to you. Even the nurses, they're inspired by you, although they wouldn't admit it.
Thank you, Pastor. I believe I found my calling.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. Now, for the real reason I called for you. No doubt you've read in the papers about the war we're fighting in the Crimea. You know, Russia?
I don't have much time to read the papers, but I'm sure everyone knows well of the war.
Florence, reports show that Russian forces have devastated our armies. England's finest soldiers are dying and will continue to do so if we do not intervene. Medical supplies and doctors are running thin. I don't know what to do. But then it struck me. You've been doing so well for the hospital. I want to send you and a team of your nurses to the Crimea to help the doctors and soldiers there.
I will gladly go.
Now, don't answer so quickly, Florence. This is a very dangerous task. You'll be fighting a political war as well as a physical one. The male doctors will not approve of female nurses assisting.
I understand. I'll go and serve at the capacity that I am able.
Florence, I've seen you single-handedly turn this hospital around for the better. It won't be the same here without you, but I know you'll be a blessing to the doctors and soldiers in the Crimea. May God bless you.
Of course I went to go and see the refugee for our soldiers in the Russian Crimean War. I was shocked to see the primitive, shabby hospitals that were so hastily assembled. I felt so sorry for our soldiers. They became like sons to me. The conditions were terrible, and I found those doctors to be callous and uncaring.
And how are you doing?
Good. Glad to hear it.
Hey, I've heard that a boat full of nurses has arrived from England to assist us.
Indeed I have not. Is this some sort of joke?
They're due to arrive here any time. I tried to protest, but it was of no consequence.
This is ridiculous. We're fighting a war here. We shouldn't have to worry about women as well. Oh, hush! We'll get with you when we can. Can't you see we're busy?
I simply don't understand why they have to allow women into the medical profession. It's already bad enough that they're practicing medicine, but to come to the front lines is a disgrace.
That reminds me, it's about now that soldiers flood in. You don't suppose we can make room somewhere?
No, there doesn't appear to be a great deal of room left. Perhaps in the corner right there?
Oh, indeed. There, that wasn't so bad now, was it?
Good heavens, this man needs an operation right away.
Oh, indeed. It's blue. Well, it's better than when it was green yesterday. Yes, we shall amputate it.
But let's have lunch first.
Indeed. And a short nap. Don't want to doze off during operation now, do we?
Indeed. We'll be back in a couple hours to amputate this leg of yours.
Try not to walk on it while we're gone.
Farewell, soldiers.
I had seen hospitals in poor conditions in my time, but nothing could have prepared me for this. Still, I kept my composure for the sake of the patients and the nurses.
Dear heavens, what is that awful smell?
The sewage is backed up.
Oh, these patients,
Their bandages haven't been changed in days.
and they're all dehydrated. How could they live like this?
They can't. We need to work quickly. I need you to go and unpack the supplies. These men will die of malnutrition before their wounds even come close to finishing them. I need you to get a broom and sweep up in here. We can't expect these men to make any progress in the rat and spider-infested area. I need you to stay here and help me tend to the patients. Sir, how are you feeling, sir? I need some water, quick.
Miss Nightingale? This man.
Put a blanket over his head and hold on to the next patient.
But please,
Listen, we can help these men, and we will. But no matter how difficult the situation is, we must remain optimistic. That's the only way these men will ever have any hope. Now, we're in a war here, and we can't prevent every man from dying. But they don't have to die alone. We can sit with them and hold their hands as they pass.
oh, I never dreamed it would be this awful.
We're here to make it better. No doubt the doctors need our help. I'm sure they're overwhelmed. Quickly, nurses, water and bandages. Where will we put them?
Where are the doctors?
God help us.
What in heaven's name do you women think you're doing?
Oh, we were just...
Who do you women think you are?
My name is Florence Nightingale, and these ladies here are nurses under my supervision. We've come all the way from England to assist you in your work.
Who gave you permission to move our patients?
We were simply trying to make these men more comfortable by using the small amount of space that we had to its fullest potential. We brought many supplies with us from England as we knew we were running low, and we eagerly await the opportunity to assist you in whatever you need.
If you really want to help us, then stay out of our way. If you must do something, fold those blankets, wash those sheets, and go prepare the meals. Just leave these patients to us.
Cook and clean? Listen here, mister, we don't just go.
As I said, we came here to help. If you feel we can be of use to you by washing the dishes and cooking the meals, then we will gladly do so. But I have you know that we are capable of doing so much more. We will cook and clean while you guys tend to the patients. Good day.
Miss Nightingale, perhaps there is one way you can assist us. With more and more men coming each day, it becomes a job in itself to learn their names, the conditions they have, the medicine they're taking, the progress they're making.
Say no more. By morning you shall have clean blankets, food, and a list of every soldier here.
That's quite an ambitious task, Miss Nightingale. But in 2 hours we retire for the evening.
The nurses and I shall not retire. We will work through the night so that in the morning you'll be better able to tend to the patients.
You're not tired from your journey?
Exhausted. Let's get to work, ladies.
Harmony's good, no bounty she'll take. She laid down her life for soldiers' sakes. She prays for dying men. She gives peace to the brave. She feels that a soldier has a soul to be saved. The wounded lover, as it has been seen. The soldiers preserve her, they call her their queen. May her heart never fail. God bless Miss Nightingale.
You'd hardly recognize this is the same hospital since the nurses have been with us.
Indeed, Miss Nightingale and her team of nurses are truly a blessing. The patients are recovering so much quicker, and the hospital's so clean I'd even eat at this hospital now.
I agree. Miss Nightingale has been making magnificent progress. She knows the name and condition of every man here. Does she ever stop working?
I don't believe I've ever seen her sleep. How does she do it?
Here she comes. She never sleeps.
Good evening, doctors. I'm
Good.
just making my rounds.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, Miss Nightingale.
Now, we were just taking inventory, but we'll leave it to your task.
Farewell then, gentlemen.
Miss Nightingale,
Yes, John?
you remember my name?
Of course. You're a war hero. I can never forget your name.
Could you just sit with me for a while? It's been terribly lonely. I can't wait to go home. I miss my family.
I'm sure they miss you too. I pray to God that this war will end soon so we can all return back to our families.
Do you think you could help me write a letter to my family? I can't use my hands.
Of course, John. Let me just get some paper.
Miss Nightingale, there you are. The other nurses have gone to sleep, and I made sure to keep your dinner warm if you'd like to eat it.
Thank you. I'll be right along soon. First, I must help a patient write a letter home.
Couldn't that wait until the morning?
His breathing has slowed and his fever has gone higher. I'm afraid he doesn't have till morning, and I think he knows it.
I'm sorry, Miss Nightingale.
He's a brave man. I'll sit with him until he passes. Now, you go ahead and get some rest. I'm ready now.
So,
No, rest, rest, rest.
this is gonna be harder than I thought. I don't know what to say. My mother, she begged me not to go off to war. She begged me.
I'm sure she's proud of you, just as I am.
Sure. proud of me?
I am.
Miss Nightingale, just tell my family I love them. I love all of them.
I will, John.
Another wounded soldier has come to the end of his days. Another fallen hero whose sacrifice we could never repay. And all around are other wounded soldiers whose candles of life have grown dim. A mother filled with heartache, longing for a boy that she'll miss. Another wounded soldier whose courage has been shown. Another fallen hero whose name will never be known. And all around are other wounded soldiers whose candles of life have grown dim. But for this wounded soldier, dear God, please take care of him. To the family of John Walters, I truly regret to inform you of your son, John's death on the night of February 18th. He was a brave man who served his country well. I was with him in his final moments. His last thoughts were of his family, whom he loved very much. Though this news must tear your heart, please be comforted. He was an inspiration to everyone, myself included. Yours truly, Florence Nightingale.
Mother, Florence's ship has just docked. We should see her any time. Good, good.
Is there something wrong, Mother?
No, I'm just a little worried. I have been ever since we received word that she contracted the Crimean fever.
I was too. I was worried we'd never see her again.
Well, fortunately, she has the good sense to rest. I only hope she'll be able to make a full recovery.
Mrs. Nightingale, Parthe,
How do you do, Pastor?
Pastor?
is that Florence's ship docking?
Yes, it's just arrived.
Oh, how I've missed her. The hospital hasn't been the same without her.
And these 2 years have been the worst years of my life. I've been constantly worrying about my little girl in the middle of a war. And then, when I received word that she contracted the Crimean fever, I thought I'd fall to pieces.
We were all very worried for her, but God protected her. And look at the hero she's become. So many soldiers saved thanks to her team of nurses. You must be very proud.
I suppose it's hard not to be, although I had my reservations at the beginning. But now that she's been a nurse for 2 years, I hope she's ready to come home, settle down, and start a family. You know, several men have been asking about her.
Do you think any of them would be interested in me, Mother?
Probably not, dear.